I'm very pleased to introduce now a presentation on outcomes of the discussions with the stakeholders. And no need to introduce Arnaud. You all know Arnaud. Please, Arnaud. Thank you.
Thank you, Dolores. So you will see the coherence and the consistency between what Ariane has just presented and what I will present now. Maybe I should have talked first, and then Ariane would have put a second goal, because there is already actions from the OHEJP to prepare the work of the MedVetNet Association. This is the bilateral discussions that we have implemented recently, because we wanted to do that at the end of the project, at the very end of the project. And it follows on the work, the excellent work performed by Work Package 5. Thank you to you all, Work Package 5 team. It's aimed at, let me check how we change it. It is, as you can read, the last opportunity to discuss uptake of main results produced by the OHEJP. We've done that since the beginning, but a last round of discussions. But more important, it's no more a group discussions, but it's bilateral discussions that allows transparent discussions without any influence from other possible stakeholders. So like that, you can maybe get more the truth about the wills of each stakeholders towards the OHEJP and the capitalization of the results of the OHEJP. And the main goal was, of course, to discuss concrete ways, concrete further actions to take together jointly with each stakeholders in the near and midterm future. And you will see that there are many, you will see, I will explain to you. So which kind of stakeholders? First of all, just EU stakeholders. We are a EU project. We also produced results for the national stakeholders, the ministries, but we talked mainly with EU stakeholders, while the national stakeholders were approached by each country and, for example, through national mirror groups. For example, if I take the example of France, we have the French mirror group. And within this mirror group, we have the Ministry of Research, Agriculture, Health, plus other research institutes or agencies. And we talk together about the realizations of the OHEJP. So we had selected 7 main stakeholders. We have others, and I thank Johan because maybe we should talk with you soon regarding EU JAMRAI 2. So maybe you would become for us, at least, or for MedVetNet Association, because we end our work on the 30th of September. But I'm sure it's relevant that you are the 8th, that EU JAMRAI 2 is the 8th stakeholders. So you'll see the dates. We've undertaken 6 bilateral discussions with EFSA, CDC, EEA, JRC, DG Santé, FAO, and WHO was planned on the 8th September so that I could have reported to you, fully reported to you, but unfortunately it has been postponed at the last moment. So what was the principles? As I said in introduction, it was to summarize the main achievements of the integrative and research projects. But we wanted to remain general, not to go into much details. To go into much details will be in the next step, in the next steps of discussions with the stakeholders. Just to present a rough view, but a global view, a comprehensive view of what the OHEJP has produced and to whom these results, these general results, address. If possible, to make tailor-made propositions of next collaborations, and you will see that it is the case. We wanted to also, as you know, we will stop. We know we will not have next EU funding, next funding, so we wanted to seek support by stakeholders for next funding opportunities, and among all, advocate for next EU funding. This is our main funding stream. These bilateral discussions are the commencement of a process that will take time, because we talk to many persons of many organizations, and there are many layers, hierarchical layers, in each of these stakeholder organizations. So what were the outcomes of the discussions? It's a summary, but because it is still under work, we are still drafting the minutes. As you know, as you've seen the dates, all these bilateral discussions took place recently. So, but I will try to summarize the main achievements and what proves that our goals were somewhere achieved. As I said, it's a narrowed down process. The current bilateral discussions aim, in the first instance, at raising awareness toward high-level staff, and then in a later step to go into more details. For example, with EFSA, we talked with Bernard Hall, the Director General. We talked with Carlos Das Neves, and we talked with Steph, of course, with our main supporter. Thank you, Steph, again. So it's a high-level discussions. With ECDC, we talk with Mike Catchpole, the chief scientist, and also Ole Hoyer that you've seen in a video conference during this meeting, etc., etc. So, as a first outcome, we will continue to talk together. It's not because the One Health EJP is finished that there is no more discussions. And that's what I think will be done under the flag of MedVetNet Association. And for example, separately, if EFSA, ECDC, and EEA, so separately, not together, they say that it was a good idea to be invited to a next cross-agency task force. Mr. President of this task force, maybe you could choose a fixed name. So this cross-agency task force is the five EU agencies together that talk about One Health subjects, if I may summarize like that. The objective of this, of our participation to this meeting would be to identify more precise outputs of the One Health EJP and get to the scientists of these EU agencies that could think of implementing and taking up, the results produced by the One Health EJP, the identified results produced by the One Health EJP. JRC so proposed to jointly identify the priority pathogens area. So they were very, very interested by the scientific content of our work, and it could support their own work. And FAO have proposed to push for interactions in the future with the One Health high-level expert panel. So they talk a lot. It's not clear again, but they talk of communities of practice, and we could agree on topics that would feed these communities of practice that are put in place by the quadripartite. We also are going to continue to collaborate together. FAO and JRC have already identified, by looking at our website, thanks Jenny, they have already identified tools that are of great interest for them. I would see, and both of them for the same tools. FAO and JRC have identified the One Health EpiCap tools for assessing the capability of One Healthiness and in countries, and also they would like really to be trained, maybe capacity building. We come to capacity building. They would like to also be trained on the use of the One Health lab cap. ECDC and EFSA, they have already appointed since the the start of the projects, Ludo, I may not be mistaken, they have already appointed scientists that followed the implementation all along the lifespans of the research and integrative projects. So they already know and they already collaborate with us, but they will continue for sure. And as I said, the tools developed by the One Health EJP can serve for capacity building actions to come. And I think it's a way to envisage that the MedVetNet Association uses be appointed, for these capacity building actions that we could define with the stakeholders. And as it has been mentioned also during the meeting, we have now networks of scientists that know very well and that put trust. This is a master word. They know how to work together, and they can be easily mobilized and utilized by these stakeholders for specific topics. So another outcome is that they are willing to advocate for our sustainability. The immediate sustainability, it's the MedVetNet Association, but be sure that we will continue to work for, after the MedVetNet Network of Excellence, after the One Health EJP, to go for a third step of dealing with One Health, and now englobing the environment, the social sciences. I take a little summary of all that has been discussed today, over these 2 days. So concretely speaking, Ariane, we did not talk about that, but JRC proposed a collaboration to sign a collaboration agreement with the MedVetNet Association. FAO has proposed that the One Health EJP, the results produced and its how it was about and how we can get to use the One Health EJP results, that they be cited in the 2024 Hunger Declaration that will be prepared. So it's a little honor, I think. We concretely discussed with DG Santé. It was not at a scientific level, but more at a strategical level with the DG Santé. And they are not against advocating for a next EU funding, but not now and under conditions that still need to be specified. And I know also after our discussion with ECDC and EFSA that they could be willing help us to convince DGRTD for this EU funding. And also, I would like to refer to the testimonies that were provided by Steph, Ole, and Peter regarding all that they have already identified, all the production, the scientific productions, tools, data, etc., that they have already identified from the One Health EJP. I will not get back to it. You have had their presentation. So in conclusions, these bilateral discussions were put in place by the suggestions of the former DG Director General of Anses. He said that would be good that you could have at the final meeting, Roger Genet, sorry. It would be good that at the final meeting you could make a point on the state of play of the relations of the One Health EJP with the stakeholders. This is what I do now. So we've kept the momentum until the end of the project. And we have also prepared somehow the future actions of the MedVetNet Association. We will continue the dissemination because it's not finished at all of all the tools, data, networks, etc. that have been produced by the One Health EJP. We will also try to look for an optimal uptake by stakeholders of the results and try to maintain as far as possible, but for that I'm confident that the networks that we have formed will continue collaborating together. And I think one of the main axes for the next times to come, immediate times to come, it's to work for the capacity building of the One Health, at least in Europe, but why not also external to Europe. And I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arnaud. I see that bilateral discussions have been very productive. Do we have any questions for Arnaud?
Thank you for this presentation, but I noticed an aspect. The ex-OIE is not, was not contacted, the World Organization for Animal Health, it was?
Alors, Ludo may add some points about that. Historically speaking, they've been invited. When we enlarged the stakeholder committee, we invited, of course, WHO Europe, FAO, and WOA, World Organization for Animal Health. But unfortunately, due to a change, Roberto Balbo change, he was replaced by someone else, Estelle Hamelin, I think. And at the end of the day, the relations fall down, and they've not been very active. But be confident that WOA is part of the quadripartite, and we already speak to 2 members of this quadripartite, so they are not left behind.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnaud. And one more and last question. In the interest of time, then, we thank you very much, Arnaud, for your presentation.
Thank you.